Are you ready?
I'm ready.
In 3, 2, slate. Oh, hi, everybody. We just found out who's hosting this show, at least for the first 10 seconds. Hi, it's Joel McHale and Kyle MacLachlan.
Hey, everybody.
And we have found an excuse to drink on camera on this episode of Drink a Bottle. Or many bottles.
We're going to do a little more than that.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm well, fellow Washingtonian.
Yay.
Kyle and I fell in love.
Yes, over our mutual love of Washington and the Seahawks and our alma mater.
Yes,
say.
the University of Washington, everybody.
Yeah.
If they could just see us now. They can.
They can.
They can see us.
And they will.
Kyle, before we begin drinking, let's start drinking.
Let's start drinking. Before we actually begin drinking, let's start with this.
I know that you're not a huge... We'll get to how Kyle is a Renaissance man when it comes to his love of acting and wine. He also builds small airplanes.
Little known fact.
Yep, he makes ceramics. We'll get into all of that. And we have brought wines that we love.
Yes, so that's the idea. We're both here drinking wines that mean something to us, and I've got a couple tucked away here that have got a story behind them, and has Joel. And this is a wine I'm not familiar with.
My grandfather gave this to me.
Did he? Oh,
No,
his
never.
dying day.
How dare you? He's doing great.
Is he fine?
No, well, he's been dead for 20 years. But
dear.
no, this was. Why did I bring this? Because I knew we would just be drinking mostly red because we're both huge red fans.
Yes.
And I thought I want to give Kyle a white that he is going to be surprised by and maybe actually like. And I don't know if you will. This is from, there's a country called France where they make wine.
No kidding.
And I was already told this is probably a blend. It's called Landenberg.
Okay.
And it tastes like apples in autumn.
Oh, even perfect from
In
where
France.
I'm from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From Yakima,
Eastern
Washington. The Palm Springs of Washington. So there it is, folks.
Yeah,
there it
and
is
the
right
apple
there.
Capital
It's
of
a
the world.
2016 Cru d'Alsace. So I don't.
It's very serious.
I'm not a wine expert, so I have no idea what kind of grape it is, but
Okay,
it's
well,
definitely a white.
It's definitely a white grape.
Oh, cheers to
Yeah, cheers, man. Lovely to have you here in my
cheers. Nice to see
backyard.
you.
Thank you, thank you.
to
Yes, and to all of you
to driving home.
watching. We're going to send you an Uber.
It's great. Tastes like mouthwash, kind of a.
That's really beautiful.
It should be.
Yeah.
For $1,200 a bottle.
$1,200, is that what it is?
Yeah.
So that sip is about $30.
Yeah, can you believe I paid that much for that, you guys?
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I'd do
must-
anything.
You must really like me.
Yeah.
That's really nice. It's got a nice acid brightness in it I didn't expect.
Do you drink white at all?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I've got some producers that I love. A California producer named Mark Aubert, Ubert, and he's a fantastic winemaker. He makes extraordinary whites. I love his stuff.
Why aren't we drinking that? Just
Well,
kidding. Just
because
kidding. It's okay.
we can
There's,
drink this.
Yeah, well, the episode will be 9 hours long. There should be a version of this where it just be called all you can drink.
Yeah.
And it's not
Just
like
goes and goes and goes.
It's just see how far it goes before you black out.
I'm in for that. It's like the ultra marathon.
Yeah.
Perfect. 50 miles.
Those people are crazy.
But you are a runner.
I used to run a lot.
Yeah, and have done.
I've done a number of marathons.
Yeah, it's impressive.
Drunk.
And drunk, which is the best way to do that.
Yeah. No, I've done marathons, but I don't do them anymore.
No, what happened?
Not as fast anymore. Now that I'm an old man.
You are not an old
Did you
man.
used to always run?
I've run, yeah, ever since I was. I started running in the late '70s. Steve Prefontaine. Good close. No, I'm just kidding. But we used to watch him on television. But no, I was running with when I was in Summerstock, actually, in North Carolina. I started running with some of the cast members there, mainly because there was a girl that I was interested in, and she was running. And so I was like, oh, I'm going to try to keep up with her. And that's how it all started. So.
And did you end up dating that girl?
No, sadly, it was not to be. But I started running, which is more important.
When you would run in LA after you were already in the movies and TV, would you get recognized?
No, I
Because you'd
wouldn't.
wear like a hat and glasses.
Exactly right.
Okay.
Gloves, bandanas.
And you're way up here in the hills. Mulholland is right up here, which is the main road. It's a 2-lane road. And people bike it all the time.
Yeah.
And you see people running.
Yeah.
And that's when I just go, God bless.
Exactly.
And I hope it all works. I
Oh,
hope there's
yeah.
some person,
It's
some
a-
agent on their phone who's
Right.
texting
Oh,
a
yeah.
manager
Yeah.
doesn't just clip you on the leg with their SL500, and that's the last you're ever heard of as
Right
you
over the edge.
fly into Sting's house.
Who is also a winemaker. Dear God.
Is he really?
Yeah, he is.
What doesn't he do?
Sad.
Do you think he regrets the tantric sex thing?
Did you ever get the Christmas card of him with he and Trudy? Then kind of doing the pose. He's got the
No, I don't get Sting's
oh,
Christmas
never
card.
mind. Sorry, that was close. No, it's on the. It's online. You can see it. You can see the Christmas card. People have posted it.
Oh, so like his
Trudy's-
celebrity friends.
Trudy's doing a cool, yoga pose, and he's there cross-legged.
And they're doing it?
No, they're
Oh.
just pose. It's a Christmas card, for God's sake.
I'm just saying that because that that's
I don't
like,
even know if it's a Christmas card. It's just a picture.
When was the last time you talked to Sting?
It's been a while. Do
Do you have it in your? Is he in your phone?
No,
Shoot.
no. I know.
Saying
You
we
want to give him a call. See?
Totally
This is
text
where
him.
it gets dangerous with Mr. Joel
I
McHale.
got very
And we've only
close.
had like 4 sips of wine.
Yes, that's true. Well,
This is fantastic, by the way. I'm really enjoying this.
there you go. All right, so that's the white, and that was our for. I love this
Can
bottle,
I see the take a look?
and I will. I would drink that every
Well, Sash.
day, which I do because I have a problem. This is great.
That's why you're here.
This is the best show on the internet. I've
This
decided.
is unbelievable. Sheer south-facing rock slope, small walls. The
Small
vines
walls.
struggle to maintain their foothold, which means that the people that are harvesting the grapes are struggling even more. That's challenging.
Do you think maybe like one of the workers slipped that in on the label as a cry for help? Like we are being abused at
There
in
is
the
a small
fields.
red
We are
flag on
we
it.
cannot stay. It's too steep.
It's too
to
steep.
get these grapes off of.
You got to do it like this. That's too steep. Yeah. Scotty
what?
from Star Trek.
Right.
Sorry, I had to tell you.
So
what it was.
Scotty from Star Trek works at this vineyard.
He did. Sadly, he's gone now.
Is he?
Yeah.
He's gone for a long time.
A while, yeah.
Chekhov is still around.
I don't know.
I believe he is.
Shatner is still around.
He is
He's
definitely
gonna be
still
forever
around.
and ever.
That guy.
Because he is Shatner.
Oh, see, it's
Yeah.
very. He would strangely tweet at Norm Macdonald and I. This is when the soup was first going. He would say
Okay.
stuff like, "Give it up. No one thinks it's funny," to both of us. And I was like, "What the? Okay." I was like, "I'm a fan."
Yeah.
But he clearly doesn't like the soup. And then I met him at Betty White's 90th birthday party.
Dear God. That's the story.
And I was like, "Hi, nice to meet you." And I put my hand out to shake.
Yeah.
Wouldn't shake my hand.
No.
Wouldn't shake it.
Physical contact, or was it just he just didn't think that he recognized you from the soup and that was it?
Oh, I think he.
You might be taking it too personally, don't you think?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I feel like I'm not doing it as a. I feel it's
Yeah.
just a fun anecdote
Right.
about a guy that won't shake your hand.
Yeah,
this
that
is
is right.
this is years ago,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I went okay,
Yeah.
and that was
sorry.
that.
That's sad.
It's
That's
all right.
sad.
TJ Hooker was great.
It-
Adrian Zemed, is he coming over?
He's on his way. He's a little late.
All right,
So
here we go.
Okay.
Our next bottle of wine,
Okay, so this is Lynch Baj Pouillac 2006.
and that's how you say it.
That's the way I say it. But
Yeah.
I pay attention to these things as opposed to
Now I know. Now I was talking before the cameras were on.
Yes,
You
I
have
know,
the
I know.
keys that don't have.
They're old,
the
and I
joint.
haven't gotten to the store to get new ones yet.
I am gonna. I just can't believe Kyle MacLachlan.
And Christmas is coming, so there you go.
Christmas is
Putting
coming,
on my list.
and this is made in Italy. So
Yeah, there you go. These are ones that, like, that you just get, like,
I like it when I hand one of these to a friend at my house, and they go like, "Do you have one that's not so hard?" And I was like, "A wine opener?
wine opener. It's supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be difficult to get to the wine.
Do you believe in all the, like when they open a bottle of wine at like somewhere like I don't know, the French Laundry or where you got the basket and then you got the candle,
Oh, the whole deal?
the
Yeah,
whole
all the stuff,
deal,
yeah.
and all they're doing is just opening a bottle of wine.
I like to keep it simple. Anyway, why this wine? Okay, so Lynch Baj, the story goes back in 1983.
Boring.
I'm so sorry.
kidding.
but
No,
I had
no.
to start with that.
So back in 1983.
So I was
So
working.
this was
I was
65 years ago.
65 years ago. I was before I was born. I was. That could be nice. Cheers.
This is
lovely.
nice. This is a 2006.
2006.
Okay.
The year is less important than it's. There's my son. How are
Do you want some
you,
wine?
Callum?
Should we?
No wine?
I gotta
Okay.
go get math class.
He's got to get to math class, so no wine for him.
I never have uttered those words in my life.
Math class might be easier. Never mind. Math class.
This
very
smells
difficult.
terrific.
Unbelievable. So.
Oh, my kids are doing math that I'm like,
Oh no,
I can't help at all.
I early in the year I was okay. I was following along, and he's jumped into some sort of algebra thing that I'm just forget it. So anyway, he's on his own.
I think it's irresponsible for our kids to learn math this complicated. Okay, 1983.
Oh, that's lovely. So I'm working in Seattle.
This is fucking great.
good stuff. It's good stuff.
Oh, that's good.
I'm working in Seattle, and I audition while I'm there in the Olympic Hotel, Four Seasons Olympic Hotel.
In a hotel room?
In a hotel room. Casting director is there. And yeah.
How did you
I
get
can
the
see
audition?
The look. Casting director came to Seattle and called around to various theaters and said, we're looking for this type of actor for this type of role, blah, blah. Anybody here that's working in Seattle? And so I was working at the Empty Space Theater at the time. And they said, oh, Kyle, about the right age.
Space, a legendary Seattle theater.
Yeah.
Now closed, sadly.
Sadly.
But
yeah.
an amazing,
Yeah, it was a beautiful,
put out
beautiful
some
theater.
crazy great stuff.
So we were doing something there. And I auditioned for her. She took the tape down.
I mean, literally, she was like, hey, do you have some young actors?
Yeah. I got a call.
I'm just happening to be casting a gigantic Hollywood movie.
Yeah. Well, that was it. It was like I got a message on my Panasonic, the recorder that you had. It actually had the little micro cassettes. And I thought someone was playing a trick on me because I'm a huge Dune fan, I loved it. And so she said, no, we're auditioning legitimate. So I went down and she gave me the sides and I read the scenes. And I mean, it was like
you went down there and got the sides, or you learned them on the spot?
I got the sides on the spot.
On the spot.
Yeah. So you just have to do the scene. But I had been trained by Dr. Robert Hobbs at the University of Washington, and this was all about cold auditioning, and he was amazing. So I knew what I was doing. Anyway, so in we went, screen tested, tested there, and then went to Los Angeles.
You got another call on your phone going, hey, they liked you.
Yeah, we're going to bring you down to L.A. So they flew me to L.A. I met David, and I met Rafaela, David Lynch. And he said...
David Lynch, has he directed anything since?
He's directed a couple things, yeah.
David Lynch.
The David
He's directed you in many things.
And the plot thickens. This is why we call it the Lynch-bage. Anyway, long story short, I screen tested, and when I got back to my room in L.A., where I was staying, at the Beverly Garland Holiday Inn, which is still there, by the way, a bottle of Lynch-bage was sitting on my little table in my hotel room. And I was like, how did someone get in here? That was my first thought. And the second thought was, where does this come from? And
what
then
kind
I realized,
of a bandit leaves of wine?
Bottle of wine. And it was like one of the first good Bordeaux I ever had. And it was 19...
And that's when you knew you got it? Or you're like...
Well, that was when I knew that David, he was kind of sending me a signal like, hey, you did a great job, and I think you're my guy. But he had a lot of people he had to sort of say, get the okay.
like Tom Selleck wants it.
He was a big contender. Problem is the guy can't, doesn't have a mustache, and Tom wouldn't, not do it without the mustache.
Well, that's not shaveable.
No.
It's actually skin. It's just a big hunk of hair-colored
exactly
skin.
Right. Which I'm kind of jealous of yours, actually. You've got the whole thing going on, and I still can't, even at my
really?
tender years. Yeah.
See, I do this to overcompensate for my face. You don't have to. You have a movie star face. I have.
I wouldn't say
the
that.
beard. So when I shave it sometimes, the last time I did, my 12-year-old, who was 11 at the time, he saw it and he goes, you look younger, and I don't like it. I went, okay.
I was going to say the same thing. It does make you have a baby face. So, come on.
Thank you.
Yes, and very good skin.
I do have great skin. A lot of people talk about it.
You do have a great regimen. Moisturizing it's all about moisturizing.
Yes, I sleep face down in a tub of Vaseline. I then suffocate.
This is a kids' show. I don't know if they told you
is?
that. Yeah, when we started, this is a children's show.
Welcome to the new Blue's Clues, where the hosts get drunk.
We're kicking it up a notch.
That's such a great story. No director's ever done that for me.
Really? Well, it's about time, for God's sake.
I did, this is not, Keith David, the great Keith David, I had to ask him about getting Platoon.
Yeah.
And he was like, Joel, here's how it went down. And he said it was the only time he auditioned for Oliver Stone. And then he goes, it was the only time a director who said to me, he goes, because it's happened before, where they're like, he's like, you got it. And he's like, we'd love for you to be in the movie. He's like, that's the only time that actually he was serious.
That's...
And he said, when I got home, they were like, well, you're traveling on this day. And he's like, oh, they're not screwing around.
Right, it was real.
I really got it. And I thought that was
This is before Oliver turned into Oliver. This is where you couldn't believe a word he said.
Right.
That's a great story that you actually...
I'm able to tell great stories about other actors.
Well, that's a great story. And I'm going to tell great
and that's
stories.
why Keith David is right here.
Right here. Keith? No,
he's a great
he's
guy.
not here. We thought he was here.
He was on Community. All right, so...
great show.
But then David Lynch...
Yes.
Said...
So David Lynch said, yes, you're my guy. So
you're the
off we
guy.
went.
But then he was like, oh, no, you're my guy.
Yeah.
For a while.
For a while.
Because then, of
Which
course,
was...
Blue Velvet, Blue Velvet 2, Blue Velvet...
Blue Velvet comes
The
back.
Reckoning.
Yeah. Blue Velvet Over the Mountain.
Yeah.
All of the Blue Velvets, which were amazing.
Blue
Velvet The Reckoning was good because it was going to be called Blue Velvet The Revenant, but then it became Blue
the music
Velvet,
in it, all the singing was amazing.
Yes. That was
because here's a fun Seattle story.
I'm ready.
So I was in high school when Twin Peaks happened, which is David Lynch's show that Kyle was the star of. He had a lot of pie and coffee.
He certainly did.
And
still paying for it.
Well, hopefully you're getting up. And then it obviously came back. But every single actor in Seattle was, they were like, oh, there's one line, you will be playing a hotel clerk. And there was like, there's like every actor I knew like was submitting, like we just got to get, and like a couple people got in.
Right.
I never did.
No big deal.
And, but that was just like, if you can get, then Northern Exposure was kind of going.
Yeah, that was shooting over in Roslyn.
Few shows going, and it's like you could just, but then Twin Peaks was such a gigantic hit, and it was crazy that ABC was airing
It was
this
unbelievable.
wild show.
None of us thought that it would ever go past the pilot. I mean, we made a 2-hour pilot, we got a backdoor pilot, and we all said, this will never see the light. It's too much anarchy. This is crazy. They're never gonna buy this. And we, to the person, we were completely surprised. Of course, we'd already signed the 5.5-year contract, so we were stuck. That was okay.
You were stuck in your home state. You know how rare it is, unless you live in unless you grew up in Georgia,
right,
or LA, if you're shooting a comedy,
right, or Vancouver,
you don't. It's not like you get to shoot in your hometown.
No.
That was.
Oh, it was a dream come true. That was a lot of fun. It was one of the great things.
Could you imagine being, Daniel Kim, the actor from Lost and Hawaii Five-0?
Yeah.
He's both series he's been on have gone 7 years
in Hawaii
and like 9 years in Hawaii.
Yeah.
I was like, what are the mathematical chances of someone booking shows like that?
Yeah. And he really wanted to work in Toronto, but that just wasn't going to
because
happen.
the winters are
so nice there.
Speaking of Canada, do you like the ice wine?
I like the ice wine. I know that there's some good ice wine up there.
Canada is coming out with some really good wine.
Yeah.
But due to their wacky laws, we never get any of it.
No, and they can't get any of mine either. I mean, they can, but it's some kind of weird distribution thing that
you
has
can't
to go
get
through
British Columbia wine in Ontario. You can't. They go.
Oh, they don't even go across.
They don't go across provinces because it's these weird rules where they say it's not fair because they can't grow wine and you guys can.
Yeah.
So when I go to
Canadians are very fair. They're very fair people.
They're very fair. Canada's Vancouver's one of my favorite places ever on the planet. And I'll talk to these. They have great food, and I'll talk to these restaurateurs who will say, I drive a truck. I'll drive 500 miles to go pick up wine illegally somewhere
and bring it in
and drive it back and then sell it on my menu.
And fill up the gas tank because.
And I was like, so you have contraband? Will the Mounties stop you? All right, we should open the next bottle.
We're moving on. This was lovely.
That is so good, and don't get that should not be far away. Where did I put?
Oh, I got it over here.
You got it. Okay.
Yeah. Hang on. I've been coveting. All right.
So
let you do the honors.
I think Washington State is the last great wine secret. I think it is producing tremendous wines.
Yes, I like the way you say that.
And their prices are still so much more reasonable compared to California.
I agree.
Anyway, I think Spain is it's not the same thing, but it's weird how we get all this Italian wine, all this French wine.
Yeah, very little Spanish.
And you just don't go, hey, this Spanish, you don't hear as much about Spanish red. So this, look at that. Don't have
you
to
are a
zip it
professional.
up.
Look at that. See, that's
this
what
is called
happens.
Triga, and it's from the Alicante, which is a part of Spain.
Yes.
It's a blend, and I think it's got Cabernet and Merlot and again, Concord and green grapes. And I don't know. I looked this place up. It's a huge vineyard, but this wine for the price, to me, is the greatest deal on the planet.
Yeah. Okay.
This is $600 a bottle.
Okay, that's a
and it
great
tastes
deal.
like a $9,000 bottle. No, this is like $40, which is a lot of money. Not for you and
Not
me.
for me.
But I think it just tastes.
Okay.
I think it's.
I'm ready.
Glass.
Here
Just,
we
yeah,
go,
we
here
just
we go.
keep rotating them out. I should pour yours first.
No, you don't have to.
You get that label there. That's a good. See?
That's a great. Look at that. That's a hefty pour too. That's very nice.
Yeah, that's way too much.
Yeah.
This is when
Cooler
Okay.
heads should prevail, but they
There it
don't.
is.
That's it's a beautiful label too.
it really is.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Very nice. That was sweet in the very beginning, right?
Yeah.
Sort of like.
It's big, and then there's that. Then you wait to that moment. Once it goes down, then it's like.
It's when it hits your nerve stem.
That's how they would describe this in a restaurant.
It hits your brain stem, and then it's
16% alcohol.
Yeah, that's good. We'll be drinking all of this. It says,
And
do not
then
drive
we're
a
gonna
car
do
or
a-
operate heavy machinery.
Yeah. We're going to go for a run after this. This is when the conversation starts to break down. And we're like, what were we talking
About
about?
before, right? Didn't you say something about a
I
motorcycle?
poured way too much.
That's all right. This is good. We're not obliged to drink everything. I mean, you should because you're my guest. But
I drink a lot of this at my house.
so this is your go-to.
This is, I order it by the case, which really shows I have a problem.
Means you're a great host. That's
It
lovely.
does. Wait.
Yeah, because you share. You like to share. That's the whole thing about wine is sharing and inviting people over in this age of COVID.
Right, when you can be a super spreader event, but be really relaxed during it.
Yeah. In your backyard. You know, it's all good.
They're going to put the vaccine in bars, I think, just in the different mixed drinks, because that seems to be the place where it's a
It'll
real
be
problem.
in the bathroom. It'll be a dispenser that you'll be able to get. Wow, that's really beautiful wine. This needs like a steak or a big,
Yeah, this is big.
Spanish hunk of meat.
I just feel like for the price, this doesn't feel like a $40 bottle.
No, it's nice. It's nice to find those too. As you were talking earlier about Washington State, I think quality for price is really what they've got going for them, and I think
Yeah.
you can find some really extraordinary wines. People just don't know about it. So
No.
our mission is to get the word of Washington out,
Or keep it a secret.
and that's
long as they
another good
buy
idea
your
too.
wine.
Yes, that's the next thing.
My little brother went to Whitman College in
Oh, no
the early
kidding.
90s, and
No kidding. He was right there in the beginning. The early
he had
years.
just bought one farm
Yeah.
for $30,000.
As a student at Whitman,
Just
that's
take-
possible. Yeah.
Take all the crazy money that they spent, because it's super expensive college, but
Yeah. And if
One
you'd done
little
that
farm.
instead of becoming an English, was it a lit major? It was a French
he was an
medieval
English major.
history major.
Stephen, I don't remember if you're an English major.
Sorry.
All I knew is that when I started making money, and I went to state school, I went to the University of Washington.
Yeah.
I lived at home for most of it,
Oh.
because my parents were like, well, you get a
Stay
place if
here.
you want one. We're not paying for it.
So you didn't pledge? You weren't? Did you do the fraternity?
Oh, I
thing?
almost did 2 months.
Oh.
Two entire months.
Wow, that's very similar to me. It's funny.
I hated it.
That wasn't my thing.
I met some very nice guys, but
I'm with you. You were on the football team.
Thank you for
were a
mentioning that,
Husky.
Kyle.
He was a Husky. This guy, he was a
Yeah.
wide receiver.
no,
Sorry.
tight end. How
Tight
dare
end.
you? How dare
He
you?
was tall. You know, come on, he can run. I just
Yeah, a
figured,
lot of
yeah.
people think I have a very similar body type to DK Metcalf.
Yeah, that's
A lot of people are talking about it.
Yeah, it's hard to distinguish the two of you. Like if you just from
Right.
from the neck down, it's
We have
like
the same hair, he and
who is that?
I.
Yeah,
He dyed it. It was green last
it was green.
night.
It was green. Yeah, both Seahawks fans, if you can tell. So that's
Russell Wilson
I know.
doesn't drink. Which I was like, you're missing out. Wait, you're not missing out.
No, he's
You're
fine.
one of the greatest athletes on the
Yeah,
planet.
he's
and
incredible.
Don't worry. I like how you switched to water.
I had to
This
make-
is a big
It's
wine.
a big wine. It's
It's too much.
it's good. I think in the evening, and with
Well,
a
yes.
nice big steak, I think that'd be awesome.
If we drink enough of it, it will be evening.
It'll be we're gonna.
While
That's
the
how long
sun
we're
is
gonna be
shining.
here. The guys don't know it yet that they're filming this, but we're gonna be here.
Hey, look at this. Now,
All right, now we're moving into my territory. So.
Pursued by Bear.
Pursued by
everybody.
Bear. So I make this wine in the state of Washington. Thank you very much. And I got to say, Joel has been a huge fan since got it for a long time. You actually really enjoyed the wine.
Yeah, and here's the thing with Kyle. He's not screwing around. He really knows how to make wine.
Well, I don't know exactly how to make wine, but I know the guys that do make the wine.
Yes, but you are not a celebrity winemaker.
No, I'm not. That's true. I walk the walk.
You do it.
Yeah.
Compared to so many that just have it done for them, and then they go like, "Please buy my Pinot Grigio." Grigio. Whatever.
Grigio.
But please, can you the story of this wine is pretty remarkable.
So yes, I am a fellow Washingtonian. I'm from the east side as opposed to you're from the west side.
Yes.
So I'm from Yakima and grew up there and went to school at the University of Washington. But I've always loved wine and got intrigued with the idea of making my own wine through a friendship in Napa. And it was really right about 2000. Oh my God. So this is my very first vintage.
Not a lot of these left.
Wow. So there's not a lot left. So this is the 05. I haven't opened one of these for a while. I have no idea how this is going to be. So we're gonna find out. But anyway, so this is my wine. I started working with Eric Dunham at Dunham Cellars in 2005. Dunham Cellars
is one of the
top
storied winemakers in Washington.
8th or 9th winery to establish themselves on the east side in Walla Walla. So very early on.
Like the Quasita Creeks, the Leonettis, the Cayuse.
The Woodward Canyon, all of those Hogue, all those guys established early. And Dunham, Eric Dunham was the guy who said, hey, let's partner up and make a wine together. So we started in 2005. I know nothing going in, and I learned at the feet of the master. You know, he's been making wine for 10 years. And this is our maiden voyage here. So
2005, and this is called Pursued by Bear. And can you tell us about?
Yes, I can. I can tell you about the name.
Name, which I think, as far as wine labels and names go, this is pretty remarkable how out of the gate you came up with a great name. We'll hear the story, and it's a beautiful label.
Thank you. So the name is a reference to a Shakespeare play, and being in the acting department,
right.
We were.
And that play was
the Winter's Tale.
Night Mother.
Night Mother. That was it. No,
Oklahoma?
That was the sequel. I did Oklahoma when I was in high school.
What was she like?
She was great. Ado Annie.
Oklahoma. She was great.
It's good.
All right,
she was amazing. So this is from the Winter's Tale, Act 3, Scene 3. Shakespeare wrote a stage direction called Exit, Pursued by a Bear. My favorite of all time, because a bear actually comes on stage and chases the actor off, and then he meets an sad, unfortunate end. What's left of him by the bear. But I've always loved that stage direction, and I thought it would be appropriate name maybe to call this wine.
That just popped into your head.
No, I was looking for other names too. It was the most wacky idea that I had. That was actually, the more I thought about it, and the more I sort of tested it on my friends.
And Eric loved it.
Be good. And Eric didn't love it.
He didn't.
No, he looked at me like, well, it's your wine. You can call it whatever you want. But it made sense to me. So this is the 05. Is it still holding up? Let's see.
It's outstanding.
That's incredible.
It's really good. It's better than mine.
Wowzer. That's very good.
That is a very, very good bottle of wine.
I'm so happy. I haven't tried the 05 for a long time.
How many of those are left?
You have a few cases. We tucked away in the library. Don't do it. Don't do it.
You know more than me about this. So a wine that's a big cab that has a high alcohol content, you can't store for a long time. Obviously, the wine people.
You can if it really comes down to what your barrels, the quality of your barrels, I think, and the quality of the fruit. And when you put it all together and you blend it and you have balance, which is what you're looking for, between structure, which comes from barrels, and the juice, the quality of the fruit, you should, if you've done everything right, be able to keep this for, quite a long time. Oh. So I know Washington is usually, they say, 10 years. And I say, well, I think it's longer. So
it's definitely, this is 2005 and it's almost 2021.
This is
fresh. Delicious.
Yeah, it's good. I'm really happy about this. It was good. I wasn't sure what we were going to get.
I'm pretty impressed by how good it is.
Thank you.
I mean, because the first few cases were some of the worst wine I've ever had.
Ever in your
It was like,
entire life. I know.
It was like drinking.
It's the thing I love about you
sweat
is your honesty
off of
about
like a
this.
towel that's been used at an equinox over and over
You
again.
seem a little too familiar with that.
Well, how do you
Yes.
think I cleanse my palate? Because it is. Oh, hey, look at this.
Look at this. I've got another one. So this is the current vintage. So this is the 2017. So I thought it would be kind of fun to compare the two.
We should.
We might need some new glasses.
Well, we could.
No, we can do that. Yeah, we can do that. Let's do, yeah. Oh, that's, sorry. You just,
Sorry, Callum.
That's all right. He's fine. He'll be
Where's
fine.
Desiree down there?
No, she's not so good.
She's like, I'm not going to be at the house while you guys are doing
Well,
this.
you're getting drunk in the afternoon.
We're like,
She frowns on that kind
great.
of thing, actually.
I don't know.
She
if
was
you want...
actually, my wife is a big reason that I'm actually doing this. She's finally just said, will you stop talking about it and just go do this? And I was like, okay. And I am a husband who pays attention.
That's good.
So cool. Look at the, I mean, you can tell with the two.
Yeah, look at that. You
So
can tell
this is
which...
the one that's been sitting for a while. It's got some leaves on it. And then this is your fresh one.
Yeah, that's
kind of cool.
Mine is definitely
Yeah.
the weakest of those bunch. Well,
No,
it's a little
no,
more
I think
purple.
That's good. And this is the Puyak, it's 06.
That's nice.
So while I pour this out, so I mentioned earlier that I started at Dunham Cellars with Eric Dunham and his dad, Mike. And we just kind of said, hey, let's make some wine. It was real casual. And Eric was the winemaker and a super special guy. Just, would give you anything he owns. Just great sensitivity. Also a painter, an artist beyond a winemaker. He was a great chef. He was also, he worked in oils, and a lot of his paintings found their way onto the labels of the wine that Dunham made. Eric there was a dark side to him, a tragic side, and he took his life and, was a complete shock and surprise. So anyway, it was a great loss. And
it rocked the Washington wine
Yeah.
world, and it's never been the same.
Just I think because of the unexpectedness of it. If you knew Eric, he's fun-loving, generous, almost to a fault guy that would he'd just kind of show up at your house with a case of wine, and say, hey, just thinking of you, brought some wine over, maybe stay for dinner, and then just take off. Just real free spirit. And so that was, so, and was responsible for bringing me into the Washington wine scene, so he introduced me around to all the people that were important to him. And that was pretty fantastic to have that, to have him as your, person who's introducing you around. And people that I've maintained friendships with, and now when we share that common love of this guy that is no longer with us.
Yeah. And that's when you that's because the collaboration you made worked really well, and that's when you really kind of stepped into winemaking.
And it started off as being just like, hey, tell me and show me what I should do here, and then as I went on the journey, and it's been 15 years now, I was like, hey, this is actually something that I'm enjoying, and I got more and more into it, and to the point now where it's a business now for me. The partnership that I had with Dunham over the years, we've dissolved that. I now have complete ownership of the brand. My winemaker now is Dan Wamfler. Dan is a winemaker at Abeja, which is a terrific winery in Walla Walla.
Terrific winery.
He makes great wine.
Yeah.
And so now, I've hired him to make he's been making my wine since really 2006, 2007, where he was assistant to Eric and then took over the job there at Dunham. And so we've got this shorthand, and that I realize how important that is. It's like when you work with a director that you know really well.
Yeah.
You have just an understanding of kind of where you were supposed to go, and I have the same thing with Dan. It's like we understand kind of what we're trying to get to here, and he's a terrific guy, even though he's from Michigan. We don't. Yeah, I know it's tough. It's a tough strike, but it's okay.
Upper Peninsula.
I don't know. I don't think I've ever asked him. Yeah, I don't think it's that far north.
All right.
But anyway, so he's my winemaker now, and we're sort of just carrying on this tradition of trying to make a great wine in Washington State, have fun while we're at it. Super small production that we have here, 500 cases of the current wine, 2017, and
the fact that you stepped in and kind of took things over and kept his legacy going is pretty great.
Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's he was a major important influence and mentor for me when I started there, and I'll never forget that. So anyway, so nice to be able to mention him and toast him.
Let's toast him.
Eric.
To Eric Dunham.
Yeah. Cheers. All right, so this is the 2017.
This is terrible.
It's just awful.
One of the worst I've ever had.
Oh my God.
Notes of antifreeze.
Well, I know you like that. I
Bark.
made it for you. Ah, man, that's good.
So
the cool thing is
it's really nice.
Now you got a 17 and you got a 5, so you can kind of go back and forth, and we can look at both. There's different blends. So the 05 has got a little bit of Syrah. It's a cab dominant. Both are cab dominant.
Yeah.
So you have to have over 75% Cabernet. We call it Cabernet in Washington. So the 05 is Cab, Merlot. I think it's like 7 or 8% Merlot, 6 or 7% Syrah, and the rest is Cab. And then in the 2017, it's just Cab and Merlot. So moving intentionally into more of a traditional Bordeaux blend, removing the Syrah, which we started with, into something more traditional, I guess. And
this is the one that Stone Cold Steve Austin loved.
yeah, she was Stone Cold.
And I am not joking. He loved it.
Do you have to call him Stone Cold every time, or do you just call him Steve, or do you call him Stone Cold Steve
Doesn't
Austin?
like. I don't know if he really likes it, but I have to call him the whole time. So it's just like if I was on a show with The Undertaker, I wouldn't call him by his real name.
No, you'd have to call him The Undertaker. Yeah.
I think his real name is
What would they call you? Like, so if I were to...
Sir Joel McHale.
Sir Joel McHale. I don't think you've earned that.
That's what I was knighted.
Were you?
Not in,
Not
Britain,
in,
but in a different country. I was knighted.
We gotta find out what country that was. Is Bulgaria? Do they knight? No.
It's near Bulgaria.
Near, kind of in the...
It's one of the...
Yeah. The small autonomous countries that...
It could be a part of Estonia. Once it's
But a very
annexed.
small part of Estonia.
This is great.
Thank you.
It is weird how America has only embraced like 6 grapes, where
Yeah.
they assume anything other than a Chardonnay is a sweet wine,
Right.
You
Yeah.
know,
No, it's a good point.
like a Sauvignon Blanc or
Yeah.
a Pinot Grigio or like
Yeah.
a Riesling or anything. They're like, well, it's a dessert wine, right? And
Right,
like, no,
right.
it's just calm down.
Yeah. I think there's change is happening, but it's very, very slow. But we'll get there.
Manufactured wines are
Everything
ruining
in Washington, all the red varietals, apart from Pinot Noir, do extremely well in Washington State. And the whites are great, too.
They do?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can grow everything there. And the whites are great, too. But I think the reds, really, the big reds, in particular the Cabs, Merlots, it's a tremendous Merlot producer as a state as well. So
You think Merlot is recovered from sideways?
I think it's coming back a little bit. You know what you have to do on the label? You have to not put Merlot on the label. You have to
Which
just
is
call it
just
something.
incredible.
You have to call it like The Prisoner or something like that, and then you just,
Right.
and you put Cab Franc in it, and then people don't know what they're drinking. And they just say,
that
oh, I like
pris-
that The Prisoner thing. Once you put the varietal on the label, then you're asking for trouble. So,
I just like if you like Merlot, still to this day, it's a bargain basement deal. It's like right now,
Yeah.
you can go buy in tremendous Merlots for
yeah.
half of what they should be costing. And with Pinots, the most overpriced of nice wines,
Yes.
where it's.
Are you a big Pinot fan, or what's
No,
your...
I am not.
You're not. Wow, look at that in a bold statement.
I do not
came
like
forth.
American Pinots very much.
do not
at all.
like-
Here's why, because I think they turn up the grape too much. I think it's the way that the French handle the Pinot grape is so elegant and wonderful.
Right.
And then I feel like some of the American producers, I was like, well, you really turned it up here. Just
Right,
very. I feel like I'm just eating cherries right now.
Too much fruit.
Yeah, it's just too
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, I brought a Pinot.
What the hell?
I know, it's weird.
Surprise, surprise. I'm so
Are we opening
glad.
one of mine? Are we going
Yeah,
to open
let's
one
do
more?
it. Let's keep
We still
going.
gonna- Why not?
Come on.
So this is, I've only had this once.
Really?
And this is called Xander Soren,
As
And I
opposed to
met this-
Xander Berkeley.
as opposed to Xander Berkeley, who has wine.
I don't...
So this is, I don't think anybody can actually get this. It's just,
This
just a wine that this guy named Xander, who I met at a restaurant, said, please try my wine. And I was like, I
Really?
will absolutely try your wine.
Wow.
And
you are a man of your word. That's...
Yeah, he didn't say what grape it was, and he goes, I'm trying to make a wine that goes well with Japanese food.
Oh, a
And,
red wine that goes well with Japanese food. Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
and
okay.
it's terrific.
Okay.
And I recommend it.
Okay. Well, should we open it?
Let's open
Let's
it.
open it. You want to do it? All right, look at that.
We are officially out of glasses.
He does this because you can see the bicep on the right, how that expands.
Yeah,
and
thank
it's a
you. One of the
complete,
only one of them I couldn't.
Yeah.
Thank you for
But it's
saying
only the right one because the left one doesn't
It's
really
atrophied.
exist. Yeah, it's atrophied.
We know what we do with the right one.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
It's horrible.
So sorry.
I'll have to cut that out. That's the wine talking. I'm
That's
sorry.
the one. Yes, that's how I get. I get frisky with myself.
I don't. Please, you say it over there, and I'll stay here.
Here we go. The Queen's fart.
It's lovely.
I'd love to pour it. Why don't you just take a pull off the bottle?
It's a good idea. Or 2 straws, maybe.
So this guy,
Right.
I met. He was incredibly nice. Met him in a restaurant in Healdsburg, California.
Okay. Whoa, interesting. Whoa. Healdsburg. That's a nice little spot.
You bet it is.
You bet your bippy.
Here we go. It's
Okay,
great.
ready? Okay.
So I usually
Ooh,
don't
very
like.
light.
It's very light, but it's
Wow.
not as light as you think.
Okay.
I know you shouldn't be going. We shouldn't be going big, huge grapes and then back
No,
to
we are
Pinot,
professionals.
but
We can go any way we want. Cheers.
But it's very-
Thank you for bringing this. I'm curious to
We'll
try.
see.
I am also sort of, I like Pinot, but it's like my go-to is going to be
Yes.
a bigger grape, just because of I like the mouthfeel of a bigger grape. But from time to time, it is
So
nice
imagine
to
having this
break it
with
up.
sushi.
All right.
Yeah, I like that a lot. It doesn't do the thing that American Pinots do to me, which is like, oh, what's that? That's the finish.
Oh.
It's a nice.
Yeah, it doesn't kill you. It doesn't hit you over the head. I
really
also like
nice.
the fact that the flavors are subtle enough that I think that because the flavors of the sushi, of course, are extremely subtle, that
Yeah.
this would work really, really well with those.
Xander Soren. He has no idea that I'm doing this. This is
Oh, well, nice.
the 23rd case of 50. This is 2015.
Okay, it's nice to give a shout out to some of the smaller producers.
Yeah. This is good luck on finding it. It's a nice label.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's really good. That's really nice. Thank you for bringing that.
Yeah, that's good.
This is the one grape that does well. There are people that are trying to work Pinot Noir in Washington. I think Charles Smith is trying to do something.
You
but
bet. I know they're trying
don't
to
know.
grow peanut. I know, and it's working in the mountains in Arizona. Because I
Whoa.
believe, and I could be talking out of my ass right now,
Yes, probably.
that Ken Wright
Yeah.
has purchased a ton of land
Has he?
in the mountains because they say it's very similar to Sicily. With the, I mean,
okay.
other than the ocean not being anywhere near there.
Yeah, of course.
And they
Who
diverted the
cares?
Colorado River away.
Apart from that. it's all
Apart
great.
from that, it's the kind of perfect climate. It's a very dry.
Yeah.
Obviously, water is not as much of a problem to get to places now because of modern technology. And so I think, unless global warming continues at the pace it is, Arizona is going to make some really great wine for a while.
Well, you get it to altitude, you'll be okay. Your temperature will be a little more.
Yes,
You can control
yes.
things.
And El Salvador is making great wine. Oh, that's right. You really can't make wine in the tropical climates.
Well, Mexico. It's not.
They have
quite
tremendous.
tropical. Yeah, on the Baja. Yeah.
They have some really
Yeah.
amazing wine.
Yeah.
There's great wine coming out of Tijuana,
Mm-hmm.
and there's some great wineries and hotels down there for that. I can't recommend them enough. And get
Oh.
down there.
These are. I'm loving the comparison of these two. The 05 is
Oh, it's great.
still holding and opening kind of really nicely. Really balanced.
That's a testament to your winemaking,
I
there,
mean,
my friend.
I was just kind of watching it all happen. So the 05 is really, this is Eric's wine, and he and the guys he was working with, and the 17 is definitely Dan's wine. Dan was a winemaker.
They're
But we
both
really followed in the
wonderfully-
tradition. I mean, really kept it.
Yeah.
We tried to keep this continuance through.
They're very different and
Yeah.
very tasty.
Yeah.
It's like having a beautiful tuna fish sandwich, and then you switch to like a wonderful burrito. You're like, they're both great. They're very
both
different foods, but they're
Those
both
are
great.
two foods that I would have definitely chosen.
Coming up next on SOMM TV, Joel McHale vomits.
No,
You know,
he doesn't. This is a professional. I have a special gift for you because I know that you like
this is a good
beer.
gift,
Well, it's not an
yes.
alcohol that you don't like, really.
That's true.
And this one is one of your particular favorites.
That is my favorite beer.
Okay, your favorite beer. So here we are.
And it's there was a time when it was extremely difficult to get a hold of.
Yes.
And we live in California, so It's slightly easier than some places, but it is
I like
still
that.
very small production. And these guys, man, they just make some of the best.
It's great.
It's the beer that everyone is practicing for. It's the beer that
I
everyone is
love that.
trying to make. And I know that IPAs have gone in and out of fashion, and right now they're not as fashionable because sour beers are everywhere now.
Yeah, well, it comes and goes.
But for me, this
This is the way.
ambrosia liquefied.
As the Mandalorian says, this is the way.
This is the way.
This is the way. And I love that we're finishing up our wine debacle here with, or should I say debauchery?
Yes,
I could say both.
I would say yes. I would say this is a you know when a ball gets fumbled and half the team climbs on top of each other and the refs are just trying to pull you guys off.
Yeah, that's what we have right here.
This is.
But it's a nice way to end.
They're up in Santa Rosa. They
Wow.
they expanded production, and the thing
sweet
about Pliny is
hoppy.
that it's a double IPA, which for most makers is a hops bomb, and this is like tasting
not.
flowers.
Yeah, no, it's really beautiful.
There's the perfect combination of floral and funk and lightness, and also at the same time, like you're getting almost 8% alcohol, so it's not pulling any punches.
These were all the words you could have used to describe the wines here, but
I chose to describe
I'm
beer.
to beer. Now, this is great. And you know, the old adage goes from many winemakers, it takes a lot of beer to make wine, which is very true. So if this is something that you're enjoying in the cellar, you're going to make some pretty good wine. Or maybe not, because you'll be busy drinking this.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kyle MacLachlan, winemaker, movie star, blue shirt wearer. An incredible guy, way too nice for the level of success and sophistication he has achieved. And I am happy to count him as my friend. Go Seahawks. Go Mariners.
Seahawks.
Go Sonics.
There you go. All that.
Go Storm.
And Kraken.
And go Storm, go Kraken, go
There's
Sounders.
a lot to be talking about. Joel, thank you for agreeing to come to my home, being in my backyard, be the taste tester for all of these wonderful wines. Thank you for bringing the extraordinary wines that you brought as well. We've known each other for a number of years now.
Yeah.
We've bonded over wine and beer and many, many other things that we discussed. And it's a pleasure to have you here. Thank you for
great.
your kind words.
Thank you. I'll see you in rehab.
Yes, well, we'll be there tonight. I'll be there tonight.
Yes.
We're checking in tonight. Yeah,
We have cocktails beforehand?
absolutely. So we decided what we would do is, in honor of the certain day, time, we would do a little happy birthday. So, happy birthday to you.
Wow, this is
Happy birthday to you.
perfect.
Happy birthday, dear Joel.
Wow.
Happy birthday to you. Because it is your birthday.
It is.
It's your birthday. And we're going to party because it's your birthday.
Wow,
so
you
we,
guys, this is
yeah, we got you a little
the
special
worst
cake.
thing to go with wine.
It's the worst. We need, yeah, what do we need here? We need like a little, oh, actually, the Syrah would be really nice if we had Syrah with the cake.
Syrah with cake?
Always works for me.
I should have brought a Canadian ice wine. This is, guys, this is.
Come on.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
You cannot have this cake with this wine.
You can at this hour. If it were at 9 or 10 o'clock at night, it would be difficult.
This is this.
Yeah, this is a paleo. It's all paleo.
Okay, good. Okay, ready? One,
right.
two. I didn't even do it.
Yay!
3 years before the Joel
You're a
Scout
runner with
Where'd you get this
fantastic
cake?
lung
It's
power.
beautiful. Look at that. It comes with a plastic knife. And
Look at that, right? This
everything.
is serious business, man. We don't fool around here.
I know that people are like, I just want to taste. Here's a taste.
Here we go.
Kyle, you
Grab.
son of a bitch.
Here we go.
Beautiful.
Oh, that's all right. It's all
That'll
perfect.
be mine.
It's a fresh teak. It's all right. It's just been freshly oiled. It's going to be tasty.
Really nice. I'll make that mine.
It's all right. We're making you cut your own cake. Jeez.
This is how it should be.
No. There we go.
Ah, SOMM TV. What a way to spend.
This is a nice way to spend an
This is the
afternoon.
best birthday party I've ever had.
Sugar and wine is a perfect combination, as you know.
Yeah, that's how.
Yeah.
All we need is some Tabasco.
That's how
sauce.
you wake up in the morning like, what the hell happened to my head?